What up, Laker Nation? It's your boy DTLF back with another post-game recap as the Lakers we finally break the losing skid. We stopped it at 5 games in a row. Um, and man, this was a crazy game. It was all over the place. The Rockets kept coming back. They're a very resilient young team, so you got to give them props. So finally, the Lakers take care of business, get that dub, man. We've been searching, if it feels like for years for this dub. Feels like eternal, man. And I got to say, a lot of players played really well, exceptionally well, especially on the offensive end, especially one, LeBron James. But shout out to Melo, man, had a phenomenal game. Malik Monk deserves to start. I feel like we've been saying this forever. And then even Russell Westbrook had a good game, but I still think he had a little bit too many turnovers versus especially Houston, who's not a very good defensive team. So regardless, we get the win. Carmelo was huge. Malik Monk was huge. And of course, LeBron James continues to impress. But how about Stanley the Manly Johnson? This guy's phenomenal, guys. His numbers aren't going to tell you the whole story, but his defense, his second chance rebounding, his effort, his hustle, very good, man. Very good player defensively, and I like him. I like him even starting. He had 9 points. He had a steal, a couple of assists, 5 rebounds. But overall, just a phenomenal effort. LeBron James, 32 points, 11 assists, 11 rebounds, only 3 turnovers. Again, Russell had a good game offensively, 24 points. He was very aggressive, and he had 10 assists and 12 rebounds. But again, 7 turnovers, almost having the quadruple double. Just needs to cut down on those. But his decision making to his props was much better in the end. I mean, feeding LeBron James at the right times, cutting to the basket, phenomenal. That was phenomenal. So I'm glad he did that today. That's how he needs to play. Forget the stats. Of course, take care of the basketball a little bit better, but he needs to always make the right plays, especially down the stretch. And tonight he was pretty good. Now I'll say that's 2 players with triple doubles, and we barely beat the Houston Rockets. That is very concerning. And again, I attribute that to us going small ball. I don't like small ball. It worked tonight. We got away with it tonight because our scoring, we were knocking down shots, spacing. The floor was beautiful. The pacing, the speed, everything was good tonight offensively. But defensively, we gave up 123 points to the Houston Rockets. That's not a very good recipe for success moving forward. The Lakers have to do a much better job of that. But all in all, man, very happy. Malik Monk, we have to find a way to lock him up for multiple years, man. I'm talking about an efficient scorer, very savvy, intelligent player as well. 25 points, man, in 40 minutes. And he's just so smooth. He's a smooth operator when he's out there on the floor. He actually had the second to highest plus minus. Obviously, Carmelo with the 24 off the bench had the highest plus minus. But as a starter, Malik Monk was that guy today. So shout out to Malik Monk, man. We missed him very much. And I'm glad to have him back. I can't wait to have Austin Reeves back. Rio says, I want Dwight in the game. Me too, Rios. Me and my boy Chapito were talking throughout the course of the game. I don't understand how you have somebody like Dwight just sitting on the bench, especially in a game like tonight. Aaron says THT looks lost. THT's confidence, he has to find it from the depths of whatever crevice it fell into. He needs to find that because he's a different ball player right now than he was even his first couple of years here with the Lakers. But he needs to, He said, y'all dog Westbrook like y'all could do better. Glad Russ is here. Nobody dogged Westbrook. I called him out, and I'm still going to call him out. 7 turnovers is still pretty bad. And I'm not saying I could do better, but I'm not an NBA player. He is. So I'm going to keep dogging Westbrook when he plays bad, and I'm going to give him props when he plays good. I'm still not happy with this performance, though. If it was any other team, those 7 turnovers could have been extremely costly. So just don't go running away with it just yet. He's not out of the woods just yet, man, as far as being in the doghouse. He still needs to play a lot better. There were a lot of times where, like, silly little turnovers, like to start the third, he just dribbles it off his foot. Shit like that needs to get cut down if you're going to be the lead guard of the Lakers, period. But that doesn't mean that we're not going to give him props when he plays good. He played good tonight overall. Still, 7 turnovers versus the Houston Rockets is pretty bad. Pretty bad. So he's not out of the woods yet. And listen, I'm sorry if you're too sensitive about it, but I'm going to call out every player that plays bad. I've been doing it my whole YouTube career. It's going to keep happening. He said Westbrook was happy because he got a triple-double. You know what? He was extremely happy, but he needs to realize that it's not about the numbers, it's about the win. That's what he should be happy about, not the triple double. Um, but it's still impressive that we were able to get two players to get us triple doubles. I think the last time that happened was Lonzo and LeBron. So as if those triple doubles come in wins, all positives, man, all positives. But if they come in losses, nobody cares about your triple double. That's what Westbrook fans don't understand. It's not about the numbers. It's not about the numbers at all. Stanley Johnson, Spirit carries. I liked his fight, man. That guy's a dog. Like a lot of it doesn't show up in the stat sheet, but his on-ball defense, he reminds me, and I tweeted this out during the game. He reminds me of a poor man's Meta World Peace. Clearly, Meta was much better, right? He was an all-star. He could even get buckets and everything. But the way he uses his body in the paint to clear out and grab rebounds, he's just very savvy. And he's a stocky guy. It's very similar to Meta. I think they're about the same. I'm not sure if they're about the same size or not, but he looks pretty big out there the way he uses that wide frame of his. So I think that's gonna be, I think that's gonna be interesting if they keep him around. I would love to see a lineup of Avery Bradley, Austin Reeves, Stanley Johnson, LeBron, and AD. I think that's my dream lineup to close out some games at times. Schedule gets more difficult the next month. Needed W. Every win we can get right now is much needed. Now, I wasn't satisfied with this game because we continue to have a bunch of defensive lapses. A lot of that I attribute that to obviously the coaching staff going small ball, which I'm still not a fan of, even though we won. We get away with it because we're playing the lesser team tonight. But we won't be able to get away with this lineup with bullies in the paint. Like if we're going up against teams that have players like Joel Embiid, they're going to cook. Or even any sort of bullies in the paint, right? Jokic, guys like that, they're going to cook. So, I think we have a lot. We still have a lot of ways to go. This win by no means was it impressive. What's impressive was how dominant LeBron James was, even at the center position. He had a couple of blocks. He was looking like Hakeem Elijah Brown. Like, bro is just spectacular. I can't believe he's about to be 37. That's the most impressive thing. And Melo was on tonight. He was making almost every shot he put up tonight. And again, Malik Monk and Russ's offense was going. So we just outpaced them offensively. So we won. But we still made a shit ton of mistakes. Lakers got to clean those up because when we face better teams, those mistakes will be capitalized on. This is a young team. They don't know how to capitalize on these mistakes. And even then, they were able to get some transition buckets off of Westbrook and LeBron turnovers. We got to clean those up. Now, LeBron only had 3 to be fair, but I'm just saying these were crucial plays in the game that it could have went south. So I always keep it real, man. I always keep it real. Haters gonna hate me. I don't care. If I offend you and hurt your little feelings, I'm sorry. I'm here to speak facts. And even though we won and I'm happy about that, I'm still not satisfied. I'm far from it because what's gonna happen is we might win one game and lose 3, and we'll continue to slide in the standings. We can't have that. These are the games where we have to fine-tune ourselves so that when we play a better team like tomorrow, we play Memphis. All right, Memphis is a very good basketball team. I think they got John Morant back. So that's a bigger test, and it's coming off of a back-to-back tomorrow. So we're gonna have to clean it up big time, especially in the turnover area. So I'm talking to you, Westbrook stands. Your favorite player is gonna have to clean it up. 7 turnovers is not gonna be good versus Memphis. He said, better add in a winning streak. We need all the wins right now that we can get. We have people don't understand. We have the toughest remaining schedule in the NBA moving forward. All right. We already went through the easy portion and we struggled. So the last thing we need to do is continue to lose these games, right? We absolutely needed tonight's win. We need tomorrow's win, and we need to keep building off of that. I'm very happy though because I think Stanley Johnson's going to take Kent Bazemore's spot. And honestly, I think Darren Collison is very solid as well. I wouldn't be shocked if he ends up being a keeper, but I just don't know who they would replace for him, right? Like, who would you cut? I hope it's not Rondo because playoff Rondo's nice. I'd rather DeAndre, even though we need more size, but we'll figure that out later. For now, I think Stanley Johnson will be a keeper. 2 games he's impressed, straight up. And I think I like Darren Collison. He still has, that little baseline move when he took it to the rack and laid it up before he could get blocked. He still showed me a burst of speed off the bench that could be really lethal for the Lakers as far as getting out in transition, playing good defense. And I like his intensity. He's always fronting the offensive player. He's always up in his grill. So I like him. He said, "Didn't I tell you Brody would prove you guys wrong? He hasn't proved nobody wrong, bro. It's one game. Still had 7 turnovers." He said, "He played extremely well tonight. Monk, Braun, Russ, and Melo played very well. They did." He said, "We still need a ton of work to build on this, but I'm happy. I'm happy you're happy, and I'm happy as well, bro. But he hasn't proved anybody wrong yet. To prove us wrong, he needs to stop worrying about triple doubles and worry more about the dubs. I mean, he executed down the stretch well. I like the little pick and roll plays between him and LeBron. I think he didn't force it and didn't try to play hero ball. Most of the times, though, he jacks up those shots and it ends up costing us. So if he can continue like this, then yes, he will prove us wrong or right, whatever way you want to see it. But one game is not it, especially versus Houston, and where he still has 7 turnovers. Prove me wrong by keeping it under 4 turnovers. That's all I ask, and that's not hard to do. I mean, LeBron James handles the rock so much, and he's keeping it under 4 turnovers. So Russell Westbrook, as much as he handles the ball, he should be able to take care of the basketball. Half of his turnovers are nonchalant, sloppy plays. But yes, he did have a good game offensively. He did great. Got to give him credit. I'm happy. Anytime he does good, I'm glad. Avery was nice too. Yes, he was. Thank you for pointing it out. And this is why I say to those people that say we lost, we lost so much with Caruso. We got guys like Avery and Austin Reeves. These guys are going to bring elite talent. And now Stanley Johnson, defensively, the whole team just has to buy in. He said LeBron can't play every minute in the fourth. That's another thing we have to figure out. I do not like LeBron James at the 5, man. We got to figure that out because we got away with it. But I'm telling you, man. Yeah, that LeBron James dunk on Christian Wood was nasty, man. Nasty. Dan THT sucks. He's struggling. But I've seen too much from him early in his career to say he sucks. I'm not going to discard him. He is struggling right now, though. He needs to play better or hit the bench. Then how about the same lineup for the next game? I'm sure they're going to run it because it was successful, but I'm not sure how much success they're going to have against Jonas Valanciunas and Jaren Jackson Jr. Those are guys that they like to play big. They like to pound you on the glass, and they like to back you down and finish over the top. And they got some athletes off the bench too. So, yeah, that's going to be an interesting test. And I wonder if we are going to come with the same lineup. I'm sure they will. He said, coaching staff is very stubborn even when we're getting killed. Yeah, on the glass, I'll say this, man. The effort that these guys brought on the glass today, we were able to out-rebound this team. But remember, this is a young losing team, 47-30. So by 17 rebounds, and we had 13 offensive rebounds. So we did extremely well on the glass. But again, we're talking about a team that even though they have Christian Wood, they're not exactly a team that likes to play big. They like to get out and run and play small ball style. So we got away with it. Tomorrow, I would like to see some Dwight Howard because I'm telling you, Jonas Valanciunas is a beast. Jaren Jackson Jr. is a beast. They have some size over there that's going to give us fits. You know, they're going to give us fits, and we're going to struggle. So hopefully, we're able to adjust. Like if we start the same lineup, but then we're getting exposed and they're getting all these second chance points, then we should make the switch. That's all I ask from the coaching staff. I don't care who they start, who they finish, and how we finish. We got to finish strong. So, Dan, are you a fan of Melo at the 5 after LeBron goes to the bench, or would you prefer Dwight there? Dwight. Listen, none of these guys should be 5s. LeBron, because he's older, and we don't want to wear him out and eventually get him injured, even though he's capable of playing some 5 the way he was hustling tonight. Melo, he has active hands, and he sometimes pokes the ball free. I like that. I respect that. But still, if you're going up against a real banger, he's going to get banged on for sure. They have Steven Adams. That's right. Steven Adams, still a banger and still an offensive glass crasher. So I keep forgetting to make that trade this offseason. But it remains the same. Steven Adams is a similar type player. He likes to crash. He does the dirty work inside. Not as much of an offensive threat as Valanciunas, but if you let him get going with some second chance easy points, then maybe he'll get going. Bottom line is tomorrow's going to be a different task than tonight. And let's see. Let's see how we match up tomorrow. He said trade Russell Westbrook, DJ, and 2 second rounders for Jeremy Grant and Josh Jackson. That won't happen, man. That won't happen. They're going to want more than Russell Westbrook and 2 second rounders for Jeremy Grant. I promise you. They might ask for Austin Reeves and THT and Kendrick Nunn. So, yeah, don't get your hopes up. That would be the steal of a trade. That would be the century steal of the trade type of deal if we got that. That's not going to happen, man. It's a pipe dream. Hey, Dan, if we get rid of DJ, I think we should play Jay Huff more than just have him sit on the bench and watching. I agree, bro, but the coaching staff doesn't seem to trust younger two-way G League players. Look, they gave your boy Jaylen Brown Jr., not Jaylen Brown. What was that kid's name? We cut him. We cut him from the team. He was a two-way player. Brown Jr., that's what I'm calling Brown Jr. Forgot his first name. And they gave him a chance, and they cut him. They didn't like what they saw. So they have a really short leash, and I don't think they're going to give Jay Huff any sort of PT. Shandy Brown Jr. There you go. I don't know why I get him confused with Jaylen Brown Jr. Shandy Brown Jr. Thank you, guys. He said LeBron shouldn't start at the 5 tomorrow. I agree with that, Ozzy. I mean, I don't think he should have started at the 5 today. You're risking a lot. He's basically playing point forward center. It's weird because he was pushing the pace, getting guys involved, attacking, going coast to coast, and rebounding and banging down low on the glass. You really don't want to put that kind of pressure. I don't see why the coaching staff doesn't see this. Like, that bothers me a lot, but there's nothing I can do but watch and hope for the best. That's it. He said Monk is really reliable, bro. Malik Monk is exactly the type of combo guard we've been waiting for years. Remember, I told you guys this offseason, if we acquired him, he might have a chance to start later down the stretch of the season. I think his time is now because he's done everything that the coaching staff has asked for him. He's even crashes the glass really well. His effort is there. His basketball IQ is there. Scoring ability. He helps space. The floor spacing is so much better with players like Malik Monk and Carmelo out there at the same time because now you got multiple options. And, Malik Monk he's a keeper, man. I really hope we ink him for like 3 to 4 years this offseason. I want him on this roster moving forward. If anything else, if we end up trading THT, then that even frees up more minutes for Malik Monk. But listen, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm not going to talk championship. I'm not going to raise the expectations based off of one measly win versus the Houston Rockets tanking squad. But what I will say is if we add the center that I've been wanting and Miles Turner or anything like that could protect the rim, space the floor, and do all the little things, it can take us a long way from being a pretender to a contender. That's all I'm going to say about that. And I don't want to put expectations, but we have a lot of guard depth. We added some wing depth with Trevor Ariza and now Stanley Johnson, who could play some wing, even small ball forward. And obviously you got LeBron and AD. All you really need to do to shore that up to me is add a good center, or at least a very serviceable one. People have said Mo Bamba, he would work potentially. Mitchell Robinson would be excellent as well. But my dream target, and I'm dreaming about this, would be, again, Miles Turner. Can you imagine Miles Turner with LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Stanley Johnson, Avery Bradley? Like, the defense would spike up like crazy, man. Even if we still have the liability of the low basketball IQ that is from Russell Westbrook, if the coaching staff can manage that a little bit and maybe Russell Westbrook cuts down on the turnovers, we can maybe mask that weakness. But everything else on the floor would be A1 steak sauce. So I really – any sort of size that can be reliable in the paint would take us a long way because we have a lot of depth at the wing, at the guard, and, again, a big man, a center / power forward would be nice. I'm telling you guys, it would change the dynamics of this team. All of a sudden, guys like Christian Wood wouldn't be able to get all them second chance easy points. There would be an anchor down low. And in the playoffs, other talented bigs would definitely struggle when they run up against the wall that is AD and Miles Turner. Just hypothetically speaking, I'm telling you guys, we're one big man away from being a legit contender, in my opinion. But we'll see. He said getting old. Is it trade THC and Westbrook? It's a tall task, guys. You can't just snap your fingers and trade players. There has to be interest on both sides. Remember that. But listen, I'm still on board for getting Westbrook off this team because I still don't think he fits. He had a good game today, albeit versus a weaker team. But the 7 turnovers is what scares me. He's not taking care of the basketball, nor does he look like he wants to. You know? Dan, I don't want Bron to be at center. It's scary. I hope he doesn't get hurt. Me too, Brayden. Me too. Bron hooping, triple-double. Yeah, LeBron is going to be LeBron all season long. We know we can count on LeBron as long as he's healthy. We know what he brings to the table. Everybody else got to keep stepping up. That's all. I think we found a legit consistent player in Malik Monk if we start him at the shooting guard. I think it's his time. Carmelo has been phenomenal off the bench, at least offensively, and at times defensively he's been okay. Even though sometimes he does over gamble or he gets beat with the first step. But again, there's a lot of depth on this team, and one win is not going to change my mind. I still think right now we're not contenders the way the way things have panned out. But I don't. It's not for lack of talent. I legit feel like we're besides Anthony Davis, of course, we're another big man away. He said Stanley can be like Kawhi Leonard. Now I wouldn't go that far, Levi. I wouldn't go that far, bro. But I will say Stanley Johnson could be like a poor man's Meta World Peace, which is a great on-ball defender. He slides his feet extremely well. If you look at his posture when he's guarding defenders, he slides his feet. He doesn't lift his legs a lot, which lets him stay close to the ground. Everybody knows it's a defensive fundamental. The least you pivot your feet around and move them up and down, the more quick lateral movement you can have. And with his wingspan and strength, he can be something special for us defensively. I think the Lakers really found a gem, and that's why he started his second game already. Now, if he continues like this, man, yeah, he could be a poor man's, and I'm talking thrifty version of Meta, but I will never say Kawhi Leonard. That's a reach. He said, "Hey Dan, have you heard the rumors about Michael Beasley and Shumpert?" I don't think we have room for either one of them. Shumpert is a good defender, but he's been out of the league for a couple of years. Honestly, I'd rather keep Collison for offensive purposes and his shiftiness if we're going to bring in Shumpert. And like I said, Stanley Johnson already looks like he's penciled in on the roster. It's only a matter of time before somebody gets bought out and we make space for this kid or waived. Bill, he said, "What up, Dan? Finally a win. I'll take it. I'll take it too, bro. As ugly as it was, there was some really exciting moments. Like in transition, we looked nice at times. But still, man, we got to clean it up because it was the Rockets and we gave up 123 points to Houston in regulation. We didn't even go into overtime. So that's a lot of points to give up in regulation, man. A lot of points. Lakers got to correct a lot of their issues, man. Defensive rotations, collectively crashing the glass so we don't give up second chance points. We still got a lot of work to do. Don't let this game fool you because we could turn around and just lose tomorrow and it ruins tonight. And then, or we can go on another losing streak. So Lakers shouldn't be too overly happy and just take their dub, move on to the next one. That's what we got to do. One game at a time, though. My boy Vincent said, "What happened to our centers? Cut them if we don't use them and get one." No, here's the problem is that the Lakers are buying into this small ball stuff, man. They're trying to, and I'll admit, tonight it looked kind of nice, but remember, you're playing a team that wants to play in that style. When you play a team that slows it down and starts, playing dirty, grimy basketball like Memphis tomorrow, they're going to slow it down. They're going to try to pound us on the glass, and they're going to try to play to their advantages. You can't get away with that, at least not for a lot of minutes. So I want to go back to the traditional center. At least one, man. First they started with one. Now we have none. Nah, we got Dwight Howard out there on the bench, just sitting there, looking like he's just sitting there chilling. You can't have all the muscles for no reason, man. We got to use them on the glass. We got to use them to do the dirty work, and you can't just sit there and rot. I'm still not a big fan of small ball, even though it worked today. Facts got to stay humble, get prepared for the next game. Exactly. They look too happy today, and I don't like that because I feel like they should be serious. Like, yo, we're still below 500, and this was the Rockets, so this is what we're supposed to do. But I saw them smiling and giggling and having a good time, which I don't mind as long as you play consistent winning brand of basketball. He said Dwight is sick and DJ would have gotten cooked. I didn't hear nothing about Dwight being sick. I heard Wayne Ellington was sick. Jack Keys, you reaching, bro. Heck no. I never heard nothing about Dwight. Did anybody else hear about Dwight? Maybe it went over my head, but I did not hear about Dwight being sick. I heard Wayne Ellington was sick. I just think they're trying this small ball crap. I don't think it has anything. Nah. LeBron is at center because the Lakers are advertising the position to Miles Turner. He said Lakers did the same thing last year with Jones and Drummond. I mean, listen. If that's the case, then I'm all for it. But you don't have to play no centers to advertise to a center. Like, I don't see that. You're not reaching them who? Okay, listen, Jack Keys, if Dwight is sick, like you said, where did you read it? Who said it? Somebody go fact check him right now. We know you're reaching, bro. Trust me. I follow Woj. I'm up to date. He said, Dan, what if the team believes Dwight is washed like DJ? He's not. He's still good for a couple of boards, a couple of hard screens, and a couple of rebounds and dunks. He's not washed. You definitely don't want to play LeBron at center long term. Trust me, because then you're going to injure your best player and the season will be done. If LeBron James goes out with a season-ending injury, the season's done. So why would you want to put him in the front line of battle? That's exposing your best player. Like, I don't get that. Christian says, Dan, what scenario brings Miles Turner to the Lakers? I would say THT, Kendrick Nunn, and a first-round pick. Maybe it might require another player, but let's just hope. Or if not a first round, a second-round pick. Whatever we can get it away with. Just lowball them till we come to an agreement. But definitely don't give them everything they want, because if it's up to them, they're going to want Austin Reeves, a first-round pick, THT, Nunn. They're going to want everything from us. So right now, that Miles Turner's value is not the highest because this league doesn't prioritize bigs, is when we should acquire him for an affordable price. He's a sub-DTLF. I'll take this win, but I'm not satisfied with the win. Rockets are a rebuilding team. We even let them get in the game. We need to do better, and we need a center badly, a stretch five who protects the paint. I agree, brother. Miles Turner. Miles Turner just sounds so good for the Lakers. I don't know. I've been salivating over the prospect of bringing in a center like Miles Turner for a long time, and I think the situation is perfect because they're actually trying to get rid of him. And like I said, the trade market for Miles Turner is going to be interesting, but I don't think it's going to be out of reach. I think the trade market for Ben Simmons might be a little different because unless they want Russ, we don't have too many assets to give up for that type of contract. And Jeremy Grant, well, I have no clue what the Pistons would be looking for moving forward. I don't watch Piston basketball, nor should anybody else watch Piston basketball, even though they got the number 1 overall pick. They're a rebuilding team. They're far away. He said, Dan, Dwight didn't play because it was a coaching decision. He was available to play. I know the facts, but, sometimes people be trying to come on here to naysay things I say with fake facts. I know he wasn't sick because Wayne Ellington was the one who was sick. I said it pregame, so I think it's funny, but it is what it is. Are you desperate enough to give Kostas Antetokounmpo a chance at center? No. Kostas Antetokounmpo has stone hands, doesn't have a soft touch. He's athletic, but that's about it. That's all he has going for him, man. We don't need to give Kostas a chance. The only reason he was on the roster because we were trying to recruit Giannis. But as soon as he inked back with Milwaukee, with the quickness, we snapped our fingers and made him disappear. He said they won over Houston because Houston is not that heavy. If they beat Memphis tomorrow by 10 points, maybe they start doing good. But if they lose, they better pack up. It's a fact. It's a fact. All for nothing if we lose tomorrow. And I don't want to hear that it's a back-to-back game excuse. We just beat a team coming off of back-to-back. So it works both ways. No excuses. We got to come out here and perform tomorrow. And I can't wait for that game, honestly. I hope we can keep building on this. I'll be honest, Stanley Johnson and Avery Bradley on the court together look really nice. They have me excited for the defensive end. I think we might have found a nice little combination there. I don't know if we'll hold on to that combination, but I really liked them when they were on the floor together. They were wreaking havoc, playing the passing lanes and doing all kinds of things against the opposition. He said Stanley Johnson, Malik Monk, and Austin Reeves are young legs that can play. We need a center that can play like JaVale McGee, and we'll be competitive again. Imagine Miles Turner at the center position with AD. Like I said, my dream lineup would be like this. Miles Turner at the center, power forward Anthony Davis, LeBron James small forward, shooting guard either Stanley or Bradley, or Monk if you want offense that series. But in general, it's going to be one of the two defenders, and then obviously it's going to be Russell Westbrook, whether I want him there or not. But that lineup sounds a lot better than the one we have right now with no centers. Even when AD comes back, he doesn't like to play center. You can tell his body language is like, I don't want to be that. He said, Niners and Laker fans are the real ones, and Rams fans. He said, LeBron hit 3,600 points. Damn, major accomplishments from one of the GOATs, man. I'm serious. He never fails to amaze me. Like, he does everything for the Lakers. He's out here getting rebounds, blocks, hitting clutch shots, making clutch passes, going coast to coast. Like, where does he get all this energy from at his age? It's just truly, I think LeBron James is the real Superman, and there is no kryptonite for him, at least for now. He said, Dan, did you see Westbrook turn over the ball? He was just casually just walking up the court. Yeah, those are the ones that drive me crazy. And no matter how much his fans defend him, they have to admit that at times Westbrook plays boneheaded basketball. That's the bottom line. You know, if you're a real one, you will admit even when your favorite players mess up. I always do. I admit when my favorite players mess up. You know? He said, LeBron dropping 30 points and he's not in the MVP conversation. He has to be in the MVP conversation. You know what? If he keeps doing this throughout the course of the season, they're not going to have any choice, man. They're not going to have a single choice, you know, but to include him in the conversation. Cam, you're a weirdo, dude. Why are you coming on here cursing us out? That's weird, bro. Talking about the Niners. This isn't the football chat, bro. He said, after we picked up Miles Turner, LeBron should go back to number 23 and run the point. It would be nice to have him. It would definitely be nice to have LeBron James running the point guard because we know we could trust him for sure. That would be excellent. Excellent, Ashley. Good comment. Dan, shouldn't AD be resting and getting treatment? Why is AD on the sideline? I'm not a doctor, nor am I going to pretend to be doctor, man. I don't know what he needs. But I do know one thing. He's not healthy enough to be on the court. So as long as he's not on the court for now, I'm okay with that. He said, would you keep Darren Collison? Depends on who we cut. If we cut, depends on who we cut, man. I don't want to cut Rondo. I think he's very good in the playoffs, especially. Bazemore, his spot is already reserved for Stanley Johnson. If we cut DeAndre Jordan because we're not using him, then sure. You know? He said Malik Monk was great attitude. The way he answers the interviews, very respectful. Total opposite to Russ. He's a winner, man. Malik Monk is a winner. All right, he played for a great program in Kentucky, and he had a little deviation when he went to Charlotte, and they were, you know, a tanking team. But now he's on a franchise that really, like, when you have a winning mentality, you fit in here perfectly. And I think this is just the beginning for Malik. I think he will be here long term. I'm telling you guys, man, we hit the gold mine when we signed Malik Monk. I said it this offseason. Whoever signs him is gonna. I think I couldn't believe that Charlotte let him go for nothing. So I was like, he's 23, he's young, athletic, explosive. Y'all seen that dunk tonight? He has nice handles. All right, reminds me a little, not too much of Jamal Crawford, but just a little bit. Obviously, Jamal was more flashy with the shake and bake behind the back dribbles and stuff, but Monk is no slouch when it comes to ball handling. I feel like he can get wherever he wants on the floor. He's very shifty. He has some nice hezzy pull-ups. He's fearless. That's my favorite thing about him. And he's somebody I think he can be our starting two guard moving forward. But the way I have to figure out how THC is going to develop, if he's going to continue slumping, is he going to even get traded? Like, what's going to happen with THT? But I do like what Malik Monk brings to the table. I like the prospect of him joining the Lakers, and when he did, I was super hyped. He said, Rio says, Melo with 27 tonight. Man, he was good. Carmelo Anthony is one of the silver linings this season. We said it again before we acquired him. Carmelo has been, ever since he went into Portland and bought into the role of coming off the bench, he's been a bucket, man, off the bench, and I'm very happy he's doing it here for the Lakers, okay? Carmelo Anthony has been versatile. He's even played some center, and he's held his own sometimes. He uses his active hands and his wingspan to deflect the ball and contest shots. I like what he's doing. Overall, man, we can't ask for more for that contract, you know? We can't. He said, hey, Christian, appreciate you, bro. He said 5:10 a.m. here in France. Good hanging out with you guys. Got to get some sleep. Good night, Christian, man. Shout out to Christian from France. That's so dope, man. Laker Nation really is worldwide. Isn't that crazy? That's nuts if you ask me. But I'll take a couple more questions before I get off, guys. Again, just to recap, Lakers finally break the losing streak at 5. We got another game coming up versus Memphis. It's going to be much harder tomorrow. And we get 4 players scoring 20 plus points in Melo, Russ, LeBron, and Westbrook. No, I already said Westbrook. It was Melo, Malik. I'm sorry, Melo, Malik, LeBron, and Westbrook. All of them score over 20 points efficiently. So very good offensive game. He said, here in Australia, lots of Laker jerseys. That's what's up, man. Australia has the best taste, for sure. He said, Lakers are going to be okay. Don't worry. We only need some minor changes. No, I worry, Ronald. I worry because this team should have been, further along by now. We should have at least been 5 games over 500. And if everybody was healthy, we should have at least been 10 games over 500 with the talent we have, to be honest. But it was being misutilized, and hopefully the staff finds a consistent rotation that we can stick with, so we can keep building and hopefully get some decent positioning till the playoffs come and we're all healthy, and then we can be optimistic. But for now, we got we got a long way to go. All right, we're not going to sit here and gloat over a win over the Houston Rockets where we gave up 123 points. So a lot of work to be done still. Hopefully Austin Reeves comes back soon. We heard from Fizdale today that he's close to returning. So let's hope for the best, Laker Nation. Anyways, that's going to wrap it up for me, man. I'm going to cut the video a little bit short because I haven't ate. So I'm going to go in and get some dinner with my girl. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Have a great night. Much love. Peace.